feeling the afterlife. We were on maneuvers in the dead of the night in some god-forsaken place. It was an open range desolate with small pit craters surrounding us from exercises in the past. You could always hear that faint whistle of the incoming shell before it slammed into the ground and exploded in a ball of fire, illuminating the trees that surrounded what became our ground zero. One time, though, that whistle came too close. Where have I been? Memories have been somewhat elusive, fading in and out like an old light bulb. But they keep coming. Oh, I've been at Fort Chaffee in Arkansas. That's right. When I first arrived, they showed us the chair Elvis sat in to get his first military haircut back in 1958. The memory seems like it's trapped in a heavy bank of fog, like something out of a dream. They poke and prod me. I'm not aware of much around. But I hear someone say critical, and another say the chances are slim. Do they not know that I can hear them? I'm right here, fellas. I'm awake. I can't feel the lower half of my body. I try to move, but I'm completely paralyzed. Not my legs, not my arms, nothing. And I can't open my eyes. All is dark except for a red, hazy glow in my periphery. I vaguely sense that something is jammed up my nose while something else is protruding from my mouth. I don't want to imagine what I look like. Feet shuffle about the room, and low, murmured voices continue to whisper around me. I can't hear exactly what they're saying anymore, but I know it's about me. Their tones are grave and concerned. There's more poking and prodding while the erratic beat of the heart monitor pulsates in my ear over and over again. Metal clinks and chimes. A man mutters something indiscernible, and an intense pressure presses down on my chest. This is what it feels like to be a patient. The room is lucid, almost transparent, yet dark. Is this a dream? A scorching pain in my chest makes it feel like I'm breathing in razors, each inhale labored and difficult. My heart is pounding, rapid and painful. I want to scream, to yell for help, for someone to come and end the agony. At least I can feel again. Something is wrong. Very, very wrong. The darkness creeps in around me like a suffocating coffin. My body is tossed onto a roller coaster, convulsing up and down. Oddly, I don't actually lift from the bed with the waves. I experience only the sensation of the ride bounding through what's left of my shredded musculature. The waves get bigger and deeper, my breathing more raspy and painful, and I'm helpless to stop it. For a split second, an electric tingle emanates through me, and then broken streaks of lightning carve crooked paths through the darkness, then disappear. The rippling ride ends, but the journey isn't over. I drift upward, weightlessly, rising through toward the ceiling. I can finally see again, but my eyes aren't pained from the sudden introduction of light into my world. In fact, it's not as if I have opened my eyelids at all. It's as if a veil or a shroud has been lifted from me, and not only has my sight been restored, but all the pain is gone as well. The ascent toward the top of the room slows and I hover in midair. What am I doing up here? I turn and gaze down at the thin, pale, destroyed figure of my bloodied corpse. This is what it feels like to die. I'm still here, but I'm not. People pass by me, but they don't see me. I try to talk to them, but they don't hear me. The entire complex is bustling with activity. Hospital personnel coming and going, but I'm not part of it. I roam the wards, searching for anyone who will acknowledge me, but no one does. The halls are all interconnected like one massive labyrinth. I can vaguely remember being informed that the Fort Chaffee Field Hospital was like its own little community, but I had never visited it. I wonder who told me that. Now, it's like my home. Families come to watch movies at the theater while criminals are hauled into the modest prison section. Soldiers and doctors kick back with a few games of bowling at the small alley, while medications are administered in the psychiatric hospital. Sometimes I take a curious glance at what's tossed into the incinerator, usually trash, but other times a body part or two. The staff tossing it doesn't seem to mind one way or the other. And they all remain oblivious to my presence. What will it take? How can I make myself known? I've longed for that human interaction for I don't know how many years. How long has it been? Time feels different somehow. Someone has to know I exist. This is what it feels like to wander. Where has everyone gone? The complex had once been so busy with patients, doctors, military personnel of all kinds. Now they've vanished, and the dust continues to collect. These days it's quiet here in a type of eeriness that would make my skin crawl, if I still had any. The hallways are long and empty and void of any human life. The raccoons break in and nest. I try to shoo them off, and somehow it seems like I do. Perhaps the animals see me sometimes, whereas the humans never did. I miss them, even though they never knew I was there. Some of them became like friends to me as I followed them about and learned about their lives. I would perch myself on the countertop and listen to Susie's or Nancy's or Buddy's stories. Now the only person that's done at the hospital is by the birds in the rotting rafters. I hover in the hallways, waiting, listening to the silence. This is what it feels like to be abandoned. This is like living a second life. They come in the dead of the night and call for me, wondering if I'm there. Dressed all in black, they carry flashlights, small cameras, and other electronic gadgets I've never seen before. They claim that they can record my voice and listen to it later if I just speak. I call out to them, screaming sometimes, but they don't ever seem to interact at all, except to ask me more questions. These new questions don't always correlate with what I just answered, so I just get annoyed and throw a piece of moldering plaster down the hallway. This excites them and they cry out as if they've seen me. Did you see that shadow? I'm quite more than a shadow. I'm a soldier, fellas. I run down the hall and they hear my footsteps. Their flashlights bob behind me as they try to catch up. The flash bulbs of their cameras dazzle their decrepit corridors and I duck into a nearby room. I wonder if they can guess which one. It's like I'm playing a game of hide and go seek from when I was young. Do I remember childhood? They creep toward me, asking me more questions and claiming to see more shadows. One of the raccoons makes a thump in an adjacent ward and the whole gang is startled. It must have gone in there. Thank you, Mr. Raccoon. As they inch into the ward, I sneak up behind them, floating carefully until I'm directly behind the girl with the dark curly hair. She stops dead in her tracks. Guys, my backside is freezing cold and it's like all the hair is standing up on the back of my neck. They turn around to see her shivering, and I reach over to turn off her flashlight. Their shrill gives me a bit of a laugh, and I smile. I sort of have friends again. This is what it feels like to be on my side of the ghost hunt. Who are these guys? They look like the same type of people who have been coming from time to time to try and take my picture and record my voice, but the cameras these guys are hauling are much bigger and can be mounted on their shoulders. One guy's hair looks like a black shark fin and is plastered to his head. It's sweltering outside. Even I don't like it. But they bear through with their boisterous gait about the hospital complex. Every room seems to be like a big deal to them, as if the old OBGYN clinic is going to be the lead story on the evening news. I shake my invisible head and chuckle. Admittedly, it's entertaining. I think I'm on TV. I toy with them a bit and give the boys a playful show. I like the bald guy who likes to say, "Whoa!" in one of the cells until he has to kick the door open really hard with his massive boot. They don't hear me, but I laugh hard all the way down the hall. This is what it feels like to have fun again. It's an inferno. Scorching hot heat breathes its volcanic life into me, waves of flame cascading through the dry timber of the complex. The whole thing goes up in seconds in the arid heat of August's roast. Buildings torch the grounds like kindling. The roar of the fire is like a lion's rage, rapid, overpowering, and loud. And I don't know where to run. Every square inch of what I've been calling home for years is consumed in blazing flame. Even in my ethereal state, I can feel the searing heat on my body. It tears through me like a tornado of molten lava and takes with it every last building of what had been the Fort Chaffee Field Medical Complex. I I try to scream, but the billowing clouds of acrid smoke pour out into the night sky, choking off the land. And me. It's all gone. This is what it feels like to burn and die a second death. Firemen sift through the ash, looking for any remains other than mine. But they're not really looking for me, are they? My body is long since gone, buried in a nondescript grave a few miles away. They're searching for what had started the blaze, but even I don't know what caused it. And I was here when it started. There will never be a real answer.
You see it?
Gone are the people with the cameras and gadgets with lights, and those little black devices that said they could record my voice. Gone is anyone interested in knowing if I am really here. Gone is my second life. What had been my home is now a wasteland. Piles of ash and small concrete pillars dot the landscape of the smoldering wreckage. The firemen leave, and I am utterly alone. The silence more prescient than ever. Even the raccoons and birds have fled to make new homes elsewhere. But here I remain, because there is no other place for me to go after all. This is what it feels like to linger. Will I feel anything next?
Action.
This is Fort Chaffee. We're walking into the main admissions office here. This is really the only way to get into the installation. We park back there amongst the weeds and walk in through here. No, I am not Zach Bagans, but I do play one on YouTube.